This is the Wii Viewer.
And the little Wii Viewer.
And we're going to review
Costume Quest 2.
for the Wii U and PC. Because this is one of those games that apparently this is going to be my year where I buy games twice. Because I bought this game twice. And this one was sadder because I pre-ordered it for the PC because I didn't know the Wii U version was coming out. And then like literally 10 minutes after I pre-order it, I see the Wii U version's coming out. And I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Remember that?
Yes, I remember this clearly.
$15 each time. It's one of those games where the price is the same no matter what version you're using, which is good, but they're not equal.
They are not.
We'll get into that. So we both actually have played the original Costume Quest.
And beat it.
Yes, we both did. So what did you think of Costume Quest 2 overall? Do you think it was better or worse?
The same. It feels like a sequel. It continues.
Yes, and I did like how they just kind of continued the story from Grubbins. That was the DLC from the first game. But I disagree with you. I think this game was better than Costume Quest 1. Just because Costume Quest 1, the story kind of felt like, oh look, we're at this new place. No, we're going to here, we're going to there. This one, they actually had an ongoing storyline that made sense. As much as a story about a time-traveling dentist who's trying to stop trick-or-treating because he's jealous because he never got to go. It was kind of cool. They had a lot of Easter eggs of people from the previous game, which I thought was fun. I also found this game much funnier than the first game. I thought it had moments that were just amazing. I mean, there was a moment in the third act which both made me sad and laugh at the same time. For anyone who's actually got to that moment, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, we're going to talk about the PC version and the Wii U version just because I bought them both. Might as well get my money's worth, right?
Yes.
So in the PC version, you use the WASD keys, which I personally hate. And on the Wii U version, you use the analog stick, which was much better.
I liked the WASD because
Ugh.
I'm not like the 1% of the population that hates it.
It doesn't work with the key structure.
It does.
Man, you have to hit the E key in order to actually hit something.
That's why it uses WASD, because it's next to the E key.
It's just so cramped. I'm like, I can't reach it without... And then trying to use the super skates that make you go fast with the WASD keys, that was just like a nightmare. It's like trying to control a tank on roller skates. It just doesn't work.
It does, though. You're just a total scrub.
Now, the Wii U version is better in ways. That's probably about the only way the Wii U version's better. Because I had a lot of problems with the Wii U version. What do you think?
I had the same problems.
It just felt like everything was a little bit more sluggish, wouldn't you say?
That's because it is. It's not like 60 frames per second like it should be. It should be optimized for the machine that it's running on. It shouldn't have to require some specs that someone may or may not have.
The whole gimmick behind this is that you have kids dress up in their costumes, and these costumes can be used in battle, and they morph into the actual beasts or things that they're in the costumes of. And that was a cool idea. Each of the sections had trick-or-treating, but they all had a weird, unique twist on them this time. Each one of these, they have you knocking on doors, and either you have to fight a monster, or you can just get candy. So if you do run into a monster, you have to do a turn-based battle. And if you know my reviews, I love turn-based battles. And this one's really no different. This game is broken up into 3 parts, and the pacing in the first part, when it comes to battling, is just too slow at times. It just felt like, yeah, we're gonna beat them, it's just gonna take 5 minutes to do it. They overpowered the enemies when they should have just made the battles more interesting. Because some of the characters were good for offense, some were good for defense, and some were just good as bait for the enemies to beat on. I'm looking at you, Candy Corn. Candy Corn's a character who doesn't even do anything other than sit there and just complain.
Its special ability is that it is bait. It is living bait that attracts the monsters more often.
Yeah. That's its only purpose. Suffice it to say, once we had a spare costume, we threw out Candy Corn.
I enjoyed him while I had him.
Yeah, it's real fun to enjoy a rock.
I mean, it's pretty nice to have a punching bag.
I suppose. When you go to attack, it brings up a circle, and you're trying to get inside the circle like you're playing a game of Guitar Hero or something. If you hit perfectly in the circle, you'll get an awesome. If you get it just a little bit outside it, a nice. And if you miss outside the circle, you get a whoops.
Think of it basically just as an action command in like any game, specifically like Paper Mario.
I actually like the PC version better on this one because they used 1, 2, 3 for the characters, and you could just easily hold your hand over 1, 2, or 3.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because you use the WASD keys.
We're going to get into this again. The original Costume Quest let me use the arrow keys. And by the way, the Costume Quest for PC shows off an Xbox controller under controls. It doesn't even want you to use the keyboard. So don't give me this like that's the greatest thing ever. WASD. No, they don't even want you to use the keyboard controls.
It was built for an Xbox.
Yeah, I guess maybe it was. Anyway, we were talking about something else. The one thing that we both noticed, delay on the Wii U version.
There was a little bit of delay.
So the problem is you're trying to hit these circles, and we think there was an input delay.
If not, there's actual lag within the game, which I think there is too, because it also just kind of seems slower and choppier.
Oh man, the Wii U version's choppy. Because we were used to the PC version, which was quick and right there. In the Wii U version, we just had to delay it just a little bit, but we got into that mode where it was easy to do. It's not a deal breaker, so don't worry about that. Now, like I said, you could put on different costumes, and they have different attributes. Sometimes they'll increase your attack power or your defense, and they'll show you this on the menu to pick your costume. Now, here's the thing that annoyed me the most for the Wii U version. Now, you have this big touchscreen, right? You would think this is like basic. You use the touchscreen to switch out costumes. Wouldn't you think that's a natural thing to be using the touchscreen for?
If they wanted to use it, yes.
It doesn't even have off TV play. They really go out of their way to not use this touchpad. At least when they made the cave, you could use it to switch characters. This one, all you do is see a static picture, the loading screen level. So you can't even switch costumes with the touchpad. This seems like a ridiculous mission. How could they screw this thing up?
I think you're overreacting.
No! I was freaking out because I was so pissed.
This is basically just a port of the Xbox version.
How about you actually put a little care into it? The PC version came out in early October. This came out October 30th. You could have spent that time at least making the Wii U version unique enough. I mean, you have the touchpad. Why not utilize it? What'd you think?
I didn't care.
At least the publishers have said they're going to go back with a patch, add in off TV play.
They did?
Yeah, I wasn't the only one upset that they didn't use the touchpad at all. Now, this game is pretty short. I beat it in 6 hours, but I didn't do all of the extra side quests. There's not a ton of them to do, but there are enough to add maybe an hour or so to the gameplay. This title is very charming, and you will enjoy it during the short period that you're playing it. So, Costume Quest 2, little reviewer, would you buy, rent, or skip?
I would buy it.
Which version?
The PC version.
Would you buy the Wii U version at all?
If I had to pick, no. Just because I just prefer the PC in general.
See, the thing is, not all PCs are equal. The Wii U version's worth a buy, but if you really want the best version of it, it's the PC version. But I guess you could say that about any PC version. Most of the time, they're always the better version. What do you say?
Oh God, do not start the flame war. This is a topic that people do not want to talk about.
I like the controls, and overall, it was fine. The Wii U version has its problems. Oh, absolutely. It's worth playing the story because it's fun. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. So I do think it's worth a buy. Well, you can take your costumes off now, seeing how it's November. And why don't you go ahead and watch our previous review of Just Dance 2015.
Or if you want to watch something else from the PC, how about you watch Tesla Effect? That strange game that we did that's not on the Wii U.
Strange game? You mean awesome game that I was a part of. Thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe.